Today we will discuss the anatomy of money. Money or currency is the universal and so far the most successful story of all human beings. We all want money, but we do not know much about money. There are dozens of hidden facts about money which needs to be known by us. What are those secrets? Let's see. In this research report, we have prepared those facts.
The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel is a new book that has become extremely popular in a short period of time. The book recognizes that the decisions people make concerning money are not always data-driven. Instead of following the math case approach, laid out in traditional personal finance books, real money decisions are made basing upon the behavior of individuals. Man in the car paradox: people tend to want wealth to signal to others that they should be liked and admired. But in reality, those other people often bypass admiring you, not because they don't think wealth is admirable, but because they use your wealth as a benchmark for their own desire to be liked and admired. It's a subtle recognition that people generally aspire to be respected and admired by others, and using money to buy fancy things may bring less of it than you imagine. If respect and admiration are your goal, be careful how you seek it. Humility, kindness, and empathy will bring you more respect than horsepower ever will. Stories are, by far, the most powerful force in the economy. They are the fuel that can let the tangible parts of the economy work, or the brake that holds our capabilities back. Optimism is a belief that the odds of a good outcome are in your favor over time, even when there will be setbacks along the way. Money is ubiquitous, so something bad happening tends to affect everyone and captures everyone's attention. Pessimists often extrapolate present trends without accounting for how markets adapt. Progress happens too slowly to notice, but setbacks happen too quickly to ignore. It's easier to create a narrative around pessimism because the story pieces tend to be fresher and more recent. Optimistic narratives require looking at a long stretch of history and developments, which people tend to forget and take more effort to piece together. Beware taking financial cues from people playing a different game than you are. An idea exists in finance that seems innocent but has done incalculable damage. It's the notion that assets have one rational price in a world where investors have different goals and time horizons. In other words, somebody investing with a 30-year time horizon for retirement has a very different perspective than a day trader trying to quickly flip a stock. Margin of safety, you can also call it room for error or redundancy, is the only effective way to safely navigate a world that is governed by odds, not certainties. And almost everything related to money exists in that kind of world. The most important economic events of the future, things that will move the needle the most, are things that history gives us little to no guide about. They will be unprecedented events. Their unprecedented nature means we won't be prepared for them, which is part of what makes them so impactful. This is true for both scary events like recessions and wars, and great events like innovation. Building wealth has little to do with your income or investment returns, and lots to do with your savings rate. More than your salary, more than the size of your house, more than the prestige of your job. Control over doing what you want, when you want to, with the people you want to, is the broadest lifestyle variable that makes people happy. Money's greatest intrinsic value, and this can't be overstated, is its ability to give you control over your time. To obtain, bit by bit, a level of independence and autonomy that comes from unspent assets that give you greater control over what you can do and when you can do it. The premise of this book is that doing well with money has a little to do with how smart you are and a lot to do with how you behave. Financial success is not a hard science. It's a soft skill, where how you behave is more important than what you know. I call this soft skill the psychology of money. Anything that is huge, profitable, famous, or influential is the result of a tail event, an outlying one in thousands or millions event. And most of our attention goes to things that are huge, profitable, famous, or influential. When most of what we pay attention to is the result of a tail, it's easy to underestimate how rare and powerful they are. A good definition of an investing genius is the man or woman who can do the average thing when all those around them are going crazy. Tails drive everything. The ability to stick around for a long time, without wiping out or being forced to give up, is what makes the biggest difference. This should be the cornerstone of your strategy, whether it's in investing or your career or a business you own. There are two reasons why a survival mentality is so key with money. One is the obvious: few gains are so great that they're worth wiping yourself out over. The other is the counterintuitive math of compounding. Compounding only works if you can give an asset years and years to grow. More than I want big returns, I want to be financially unbreakable. And if I'm unbreakable, I actually think I'll get the biggest returns, because I'll be able to stick around long enough for compounding to work wonders. Good investing isn't necessarily about earning the highest returns, because the highest returns tend to be one-off hits that can't be repeated. It's about earning pretty good returns that you can stick with and which can be repeated for the longest period of time. That's when compounding runs wild. Enough is realizing that the opposite, an insatiable appetite for more, will push you to the point of regret. The hardest financial skill is getting the goalpost to stop moving. It gets dangerous when the taste of having more money, more power, more prestige, increases ambition faster than satisfaction. Social comparison is the problem here. The point is that the ceiling of social comparison is so high that virtually no one will ever hit it. Which means it's a battle that can never be won, or that the only way to win is to not fight to begin. Luck and risk are both reality. They are driven by the same thing. You are one person in a game with 7 billion other people and infinite moving parts. The accidental impact of actions outside of your control can be more consequential than the ones you consciously take. The line between inspiringly bold